Hey guys, so I'm going to do a little mail time here. Tim writes, I'm teaching myself painting and your videos are such a great help. Thank you. I particularly want to build a plein air setup like yours. I'm going to make a folding palette box, etc. It goes on to ask what sort of materials I used, and I thought this might be a good opportunity to make a video showing my different easels. So if that sounds interesting, stick around. Okay, so welcome to the evolution of my easels. First one I used was just a music stand because that's all I had, and not ideal because as you paint on it, it's really wobbly, but it got me started. You can see I still now use it as a music stand again, but it's still covered with paint. So this was from back in 2003 when I got started. So that was number one, and I don't recommend it, but unless it's all you've got, because whatever it takes to get started. So the next thing I got was a French easel, okay, which most people are familiar with these. You've got to set it up, which I will do right now. Kind of a drag to set up, but not too bad once you're in the habit of it. I did not use the palette that came with it. I just made my own palette and sort of attached it with this bungee here. I would just slip that under the drawer and slide it over so it held it on. Brush cleaner in this section here. Anyway, this worked well for a while, but it was kind of bulky. So after that, I moved on to a more compact setup. Okay, so the next setup that I got was something that I made. I just got a tripod, and then I made a box that's got like this T on it. It hangs on the tripod, and there's some little latches I put on it. You flip them down, open it up, paint goes here, you've got some working space. This is great because it folds up really compact. It's really fast. This goes right into a backpack. The top disconnects because it's a camera setup. You've got your quick release plate here. It goes in really quickly. So I can get this set up in no time, like minutes. The other beauty of this one is that you don't have to clear your palette of paint. You can just keep it on there. You can load it up before you go. So typically I'd have paint on here before I would go out painting, and then you don't have to carry and squeeze out paints once you're on location. So it's probably the best way to get up and going quickly. Birch plywood, and the sides are made out of poplar. So I make a box and then I cut it in half on the table saw, and then I chop the top half, put hinges on it. So I used oak for this, and then this is poplar here too. The plywood then gets treated in here. I just put Varathane, which is like a satin finish, like floor finish, and then that dries up hard and it prevents the oils from the paint from soaking into the palette. It kind of creates a nice hard surface to work on, and it cleans up real well, provided that you clean it up within, say, 24 hours after using it. It's sort of based on a design by Artbox and Panel. I think they're artboxandpanel.com. They're made by a guy named James Coulter. So I don't know how close this is. I just saw his video and then I just made up my own dimensions. A lot of painters use the Artbox and Panel easels. They're pretty popular, so you can get those online. Anyway, this is a great setup. I love it. Very functional and easy to use, easy to carry, lightweight, etc. That's my current plein air setup. So this is my studio easel. This is for working on bigger pieces, and it's made out of recycled wood. It seems to be a theme around here. Anyway, it was just made out of old 2x4s. I cut them down and I planed them. It's a really stable easel for doing larger work. The other thing that's nice about it is I put wheels on it so I can move it around. This easel has various heights. Obviously I can change the height on it just by moving these removable pins here, and I can adjust back here. I can adjust the tilt So overall, this is a great setup, and it's nice because it rolls around. It's big enough for me to get a decent sized canvas on there. I've painted 3 foot by 4 foot. Actually, I painted a 3 foot by 5 foot on here, and it was fine. Okay, so finally we have my indoor setup, which I use in my kitchen, which is a full box French easel. So the one I showed you outside was a half box. So this is a little bit bigger. And then I also have the plein air box that I showed you. I use this when I go plein air painting, and then when there's usually still paint left inside, so I just bring it into the kitchen and set it up on this easel here. I also have this frame that I built. You might have noticed this frame, I also built a big frame for the large studio easel that I have, and it allows me to use a square to get horizontal lines and vertical lines. It also allows me to draw straight lines without touching the surface of the canvas. There's about a 1/4 inch clearance here, so I can paint straight lines without messing up the wet paint, or without setting a straight edge on the wet paint. So that's my easel tour. I hope you found that fun and informative. So that's it for today, and I will see you in the next one.